So, hi guys, can you hear me? For this is a tutorial for creating a string gravity sketch, and then I'll just be showing what to do before you get started and how you can use the tools in them. First, you'd see that on my first layer, I have a reference. So you need a picture of a shoe, like this side view of a shoe that you can trace out, and also that you can work with. So you need it to have an idea of what you're working with. Then on another layer, like I told you, to get to layers, press the blue button on your non-drawing controller and then click on layer here, and then you add a prefab. You know how to add like the shoe prefabs. You simply go to prefabs, then go to import models, go to reference library, you move to next page, you can see footwear, go to shoe last, and you can see different kinds of shoes. As I chose sneakers because I'm making sneakers, but if you're making like boots, you can choose them and use whatever kind that you want. Then you lock that layer, and then on another different layer, just draw an outline of what you see in the shoe and work with it in 3D. Then you turn off the reference image and then create a layer for the whole shoe that you can see. So it's going to be around the shoe. If you're drawing something, let's see, let's continue. It should go like around the shoe. If you want it to have like a design that goes around, it should just go around the shoe. That way you can have an idea of what you want. So this is just the drawing of what you want in the shoe, and you can see that they are just strokes that I made around the shoe and then connected, and some of them I mirrored them at the sides and joined them. See that if it goes through the shoe, you can always edit it. Like you hold it, press the blue button, and then you can see, you can bring them out as you like, and just join them together. Then the most important part of this tutorial is how to use the surface tool, because you use the surface tool to make different the sides of the shoe that you want to see. So the surface tool is, press the purple button, and then the surface tool basically joins to create a surface. So if you click here and then press custom surface, when you hold the two parts of your controllers and together, you can make a surface. So just be tied to the shoe to take a lot of work. So we're going to just click on the surface tool and then bridge curves. Bridge curves means that if there are two strokes, the surface is going to be in between the two lines that you have created. So you click on bridge curves, and then just, you see, it will go in between the shoes and change the color so that you know what you're working with. If you make it like, let's make it a deep blue, and you see, just draw it in between the curves. If it doesn't work well, you can always edit it. And then if you have only one side done, just grab it with your hand and then press the blue button to like edit it, and then hold an edge. You know, this is an edge in between two lines. You can press the this toggle button, the thumb stick, to like move to the edge selection, and then you hold it and then duplicate an edge, and then you can work with it that way. So just make it work. Oh, make sure not to like select all of them at the same time, and then just do that quickly. can always edit them to like fit into the boundaries you created for them. That's in between the strokes that you had already drawn. But that's something you can always do. Just don't make the distance between them too large, or else they would not fit correctly. And just keep doing that until you've finished. So when you've completely gone around the shoe and then you've edited the different points to, well, the shape that you want it to be, you can, if you want a point in the middle, you can just click on it and then you get a point in the middle. Just work with what you have and it would be enough. Then when you get to the point, to the part where you want to join them together, just get 2 points together and then bring the two top parts together and then they'll lock into each other. Make sure that they are not double, just bring them into each other and make sure, like these ones now, they are like they're not together. uh, you can always go into zoom and then bring 2 points together and they'll become one. Just put them on top of each other. Oh, Jesus is God. So when you're done and you've gone around the whole place, you can join 2 points together to close it and put it on top of each other, and then they become 1 point that you can work with. Now you've created the surface for the shoe, and you can see that this works in a way. So you can do that for other sides. You can do that for like other parts of the shoe that you've outlined. So still surface and make sure it's on bridge curves, and it's always better to work with another color so you can be able to differentiate it. So let's do something white. Uh, be careful when you're working with the colors and choose where to work with. Better to make it bigger so that you can see them. You can always edit this by holding it, clicking, hold and click. Oh, Jesus. Hold, click to like extend the sides of the surface. You can always still edit it and make sure that doesn't come out of the shoe, that it's not entering inside. But that will be done later. Just hold an edge. So after you're done, you can just hide the strokes or to see how they look around the shoe. You need to work with them completely. And then you can edit the shoe sides to Jesus. You can be edit the shoe sides to make sure that they do not enter inside the last, and just get the points and edit them. Then you can also bring them closer to the shoes so they don't just sit out. But as you're doing that, remember that you have to be careful so that the sides don't get inside, as you can see. You can add another line in between by going on this line, like choosing one of the edges and clicking on the middle. That way you can just like pull them out, and when you pull, it doesn't really affect it. You see, you just pull them out and they would work. See now that it's lining up with this side of the shoe. You can pull out this side that is in locked in between and just work with it. You can just make sure that the body is off and then subdivision is on so that it would be smooth. You can go back and work with the stroke again if there are still parts that you want to add. Like, let's see here. I wanted to add another surface. So to the surface tool, make sure it's on bridge curves and see we have a surface. It's change the colors so that you can just use random colors for now so that you'll be able to just pinpoint what they are, where they are. You can edit the points to fit. You can see, edit the points. You can see this one, probably join them together. Just how you think you'd want your shoe to be. It doesn't have to go exactly the same way the strokes go. You can always turn them off, and then that's when you're already done with all the sides. Just duplicate, like processing. Make sure you don't have like double lines. So if you want to get the edges better, just hold on to this edge, grab it, and then duplicate by pressing the trigger button and dragging it out. That way, you see. Then you can now manipulate the points to fit whatever shape you want. When you're done, you can hide the the stroke layer, and then make it fit the last of the shoe and just work with wrapping it to the shoe. Just see like the points, bring them closer to line up with the former one that we did. You can see, bring them together. Then if you need another point there, just make sure that everything lines up correctly. Can go from different angles to see that, pull them in, tuck them in, tuck them in, but not too much that they get into the prefab that you're working with. So you see, it's now wrapping around the shoe. Anyway, you can look at it and see that it's beginning to look all right. This space looks tight, so just bring it out a little. And there's that. So you can a the longer part of the sneakers and then using the surface tool. Then you can mirror it by pressing the blue button. This is really messy, but you can work with it. and then press mirrored here to make sure that it's mirrored. This will give it another side. Then you can bake this mirror so that when you bake mirror, so this will be different objects on their own. So when you bake it, you can now see. Or before you break the mirror, you can, like I said, mirror it, and then this is my reference object that's helping me know like what you can begin to join them in together so that you can have one full object. You can hide the shoe so that you can just see what it looks like inside. So let's continue and then join these parts together. You see how they join. You can always turn it around and look into it to see what it looks like. And I think that's all we need to like join at this point. Then you can see that you went in. You can then begin to drag it out. To drag it out, you'd want to see where the shoe preferred is, so you turn that back on and then begin to drag it out. So you see, it's not as hard as it looks. It's just very manual, so you need to get like all the edges in the right place. Just pull this out more and more. You might have loose edges like this. You should not try not to like have too many of them. So if you want to work with this, a better way to work with this is to put it on a different layer. So take this and drop it inside this layer so you can hide every other thing, or just leave the shoe, the prefab, and just work with it. So you can look around it, make sure that it's coming out well. If you can't get the edges, try to you see that it had already started spinning inside itself. So try to delete all these loose edges. So you can see that. So this is what we are concentrating on. You see that we are trying to pull it out. And then now that you have it on one side, you can add another edge loop around here. So just pull them out, and then you have like the general shape of the shoe that you want. So pull this out, pull this out, pull this out. Then also make sure that it's also the same, but you can, if you can leave it this way, honestly, because when you turn back the other layers on, you see that they have started to overshadow the shoe. So now you still need to push back things, push them back, push them like just push them back in. Pushing them back in will make them stay inside the loop for, how do I show you this? Just work with it until you have something that you can play around with. So now to add the top part of the shoes, before we add the laces and we know that we are done, you'd have to use the surface tool. But without the surface tool, we use the precise quilt that will help us create an exact shape of what we want and over what layer we want it to be in. So first thing to do is to use your click on your non-drawing hand, click on press the trigger and then just use it to gauge or measure the length that you want to cover. Then press the second non trigger on your right hand and then you can just drag it forward. Press again when you're done, press again on the drawing hand trigger and then you have it like this. Then you can pick it up and press the blue button to edit it. Add a new line in between in the middle so that you'll be able to like drag up the edges. You can see now that we have seen the shoe being made. So just push the edges that you don't want in so that you're just so that they don't come out of the original shape of the shoe that you want. After we've done that, you can change the color as you like. We'll do the same thing for the inner leak, like that part where you pull up for the shoe where you tie the laces over. So we can decide to start from here. Remember, press the trigger of the non-drawing hand and then just decide the length that you want it to cover and then click on the drawing hand. You can just click again, click again, click again, click again, click again, click again, click again. So you have the outline of what you want and then you just start manipulating it and pushing it in. You can add another loop here. When you add another edge, it's called an edge loop that you can run around it and then you can put it inside. Now it looks like, make sure that it doesn't come out of the last. You can just keep moving it in, pulling it out as you deem right, and then that's just that. Now when you finish that, oh god, you can add the loops for the shoelaces. So what shape does the loop, what shape is the loop? So I've always told you I think of objects in shapes. They are shaped like a torus. So go to your primitive shapes here and then click on torus and you see this donut shape is a torus. So create a loop, turn it around and then make it, scale it down to be tiny and then just drop it on it. Make sure it's directly on the body and not, there's no space. It's better to put this loop in a new layer for laces, that's just for laces, so that you can be able to tell your layers apart. So lock the other layers, put it inside the laces layer and then you can now take it around and pick it up as you like. If you mirror it, it should show on the other side. So you can just move it forward, increase how big it is, and then put it on the other side. Make sure that it's not floating in the air. Let it sit like on the shoe. You still need to come out and adjust the mirror. So after you've done this, you can take it and bake the mirror in so that you can adjust the other one. Baking the mirror makes the mirror on the other side its own object. You can see that this thing is coming out, the leak of the shoe. So you just need to take that and then push it in and then all fixed. So you can copy this, you know how to copy, grab it and then press the right hand trigger and let's delete this, spread it. Always make sure that this is not floating in the air and is on the shoe itself. Just try to just lock it in. So copy it again, copy it again. So just like that until you're satisfied. We are copying instead of making new ones just because we want them to have equal sizes, because you might not be able to control the size of the loops if you were to make new ones every time you wanted to add it to the shoe. So just keep on adding it. So this looks enough. Then you can now mirror it for all of them. Mirror, do button, mirror, mirror, and keep mirroring until you get to the last one. So you'll see it at the other side now. That way you have equal laces at equal sides of the object. Then to lace it, just lace it as you would do your normal shoe. How would you lace your shoe? We need a stroke because that work, but there's no use custom ink. Let's use like strokes. Then you can always edit it. Let's just see here. So just keep going around until you done. Try some of the simplify the loop, the points, and just start pushing them into the shoe like the way you'd want them to show. So also click on snap to points, put it in the middle so that it snaps to objects. Make sure that they go inside the loop that you created for the shoelaces. You'd see this. I keep on pulling. When you're done, you can increase the shoelace to however thick you want it to be. This is too much. So see, so it doesn't matter if it's not as smooth as you want the first time. Just know that you can always go over it and simplify the points and then push them by yourself into the holes. Just grab it and hold them and put them into the holes. You can bring them out. If you feel like a point is unnecessary, you can delete it. Just make sure that it gets into the hole that you want, that you created them for. And just do that for the other side that you make. So instead of using a color, you can use a texture instead. Just bring in a texture as a reference image and then just keep it in your scene. Pick up the object or the part of the drawing that you want, of the modeling that you want to change to a texture, and then press this color wheel button. Then use this eyedropper tool to click on the reference image and then click with your trigger button, and then you have that texture as the texture of your object. And then we are not done. We need to add a bottom to the shoe, as now the shoe is just empty and we need to add a surface at the bottom. Now the last part of the tutorial is to give the shoe a bottom, and then that's it. So not to get access to that part of the tutorial, just turn off vertical lock. So press the blue button and then in settings and sketching aid at the top, turn off vertical lock. That means you can now turn it over so you can look at the under part of the shoe. Then go to precise quilt, the surface tool, go to precise quilt, and let's make the bottom of the shoe. In your non-drawing hand, just press and hold the trigger and put it at the point you want to start from. Keep pressing this trigger of the second hand to lock the points in, and just try to get the overall shape of the shoe. And then that's it. You're done. You can decide to edit it if you don't feel comfortable with it. You see the bottom isn't very aligned. Tuck in the corners that are peeking out. And then just tuck them in. You can also decide to give thicken it to give it an offset, and maybe you can then that's that. Change the color to whatever you want, and your sneaker is ready. Your shoes are ready to go. Don't you like it? I mean, turn on vertical look back, and this is the shoe. Remember to always save your work.